Welcome seekers to the fifth part of the Ophiel series, in which we are doing an in-depth, practical book study of Ophiel's occult classic, The Art and Practice of Getting Material Things Through Creative Visualization. In the last part, we covered the pentagram rituals, which we hope you are consistently practicing morning and evening. If you haven't watched that video, please follow the link in the description to get caught up. You should be at the point of fluency with the lesser banishing and invoking rituals of the pentagram that you can, while seated, visualize yourself going through the motions of the entire ritual. Try that now. Pause the video, and while seated, close your eyes and imagine yourself in your mind's eye, performing the entire ritual sequence, making all the motions and making all the movements back and forth in your imagination. If you can't do it yet, don't get discouraged, but start to practice it whenever you feel like it, or even while falling asleep. This is a great exercise to do while your mind is winding down. In this part, we will complete the exercises required to fulfill the first 3 laws of manifestation according to Ophiel. Please review the series for a more detailed exposition on the 10 laws if you are completely unfamiliar with these ideas. We will practice using symbols for creative visualization. Ophiel included 4 symbols in the book, which we will present here. These symbols will be familiar to students of Tantra, also known as Tattvas, with more complex applications within that system. These are very ancient symbols that have been used by mystics to connect with elemental forces. Western magic and Hermeticism have found these to be powerful and adapted them into a streamlined magical development system. In alchemical traditions, you will see other symbols representing the elements, but the Tattva symbols are better suited for visualization training and immersion. And that's why Ophiel uses them in this training system. Symbols are shortcuts for connecting with the various forces and energies that we want to call into our lives. Everything in creation is made from 4 main forces or energies. In the occult traditions, these are known as the elemental forces of earth, air, water, and fire. Spirit is also depicted, but can be more accurately seen as the container, space, or underlying reality in which all the 4 elements emerge and exist, akin to the void. The elements are not the actual physical forms, fire or water and so on, but are primal energies starting in the inner planes and culminating into those forms. These elemental forces are not to be confused with the elements of the periodic table either. Those only deal with material realm chemistry, which is very useful, but does not extend into a study of non-physical or spiritual dimensions. Earth element is a principle of structure and inertia, felt as density, stability, resistance. Air is the principle of movement and differentiation, felt as lightness, motion, circulation, thought, and the capacity to shift or connect. Water is the principle of cohesion and flow, felt as liquidity, receptivity, merging, emotional depth, and the tendency to bind or unify. Fire is the principle of transformation and expansion, felt as heat, intensity, movement, ignition, and the drive to change or act. Akasha or spirit is the principle of space and underlying potential, felt as stillness, openness, subtle presence, and the field in which all elements arise and interact. These forces combine to bring about the physical universe and are represented not only in our bodies, bones, blood, lymph, breath, gas, digestion and combustion processes, and even make up our temperament and personalities. Some people grasp this intuitively, for example, when they speak of fiery personalities, anger or passion being a fire quality, or people we describe as flighty and airy. So as you can see, these elements are not limited to the physical world, but also make up emotional and spiritual qualities. Students of the occult are familiar with elemental beings who are made up primarily of one element and live in realms dominated by that element, such as salamanders, gnomes, undines, sylphs, and other beings that are considered mythical. Humans consist of a combination of the four elements, while advanced mages and occultists work with Akasha directly. For our purposes here of influencing material reality, the four elements will be our primary focus. Because how well these forces are active and balanced within you determine your capacity to align and open yourself to the full gifts and potential of spirit. In this work, we will not delve fully into elemental magic or mastery, but that may come soon in future lectures. What we will do is provide some basic visualization practices using the element symbols to further activate and balance these forces within you, while of course improving your creative visualization abilities. We have already started this process of elemental activation during the pentagram rituals. When you turn to the four quarters and call the four elemental energies, Eurus, Notus, Zephyrus, Boreas, and then with the archangel calls which stabilize, regulate, and structure the elemental field. Now, we will do the Tattva work, which directly engages and internalizes elemental qualities. We will present these final visualization exercises here to leave you with a body of daily practices that you can work on while we continue studying the rest of the material on how to use the laws of the inner planes to manifest your desires. First, you will need to create these Tattva cards. You can make them yourself to create personal magical tools, or you can recreate them digitally and print them. I will give you instructions on how to make them physically, as this will yield maximum benefits. Use white rigid paper or card, size A4 minimum, A3 preferred. Place the card in portrait orientation. All cards should be visually consistent. Same card size, same approximate symbol, size, same centering. The symbol should feel large and clear from about 1.5 to 2 feet away. Lightly mark the center point. From the center, measure and draw or mount the appropriate Tattva shape centered exactly on that point. Make the main shape about 10 centimeters to 12 centimeters wide. Keep generous white space around it. Use flat, solid color. No shading, texture, labels, borders, or decoration. Mount the finished cards upright at eye level. Practice seated with spine straight on a chair or floor. Practice in this order. For week 1, use the yellow square Tattva, earth element symbol. For week 2, use the blue circle, air element symbol. For week 3, use the silver crescent, water element symbol. For week 4, use the red triangle, fire element symbol. You will start the exercise with the Kabbalistic cross and either the lesser banishing or invoking ritual of the pentagram, depending on time of day. And then proceed. The exact steps and instructions on how to keep the cards and perform the exercise will now be given in Ophiel's words.
Keep them very private. Keep them protected so that other people will not see them or have a chance to handle them. It should come about as you continue to use your own private symbols that the symbols should increase in power, becoming successively charged with your magnetism and the magnetism of the forces you invoke. For now, you can use the colored symbols given here to develop your visualization ability only, and not for the other purposes, the more advanced work. The use of the symbols for visualization practice development work is as follows. In starting the work each time, I urge you to work the pentagram ritual first, probably physically, as you are going to do the other work mentally, and the physical ritual will serve as a good balance exercise. If you have time to do the ritual, do it. And if you do not have time, do not do it. But do not feel guilty if you don't do it all the time. Start your work by making yourself comfortable. Use a table and chair of convenient size. You can have some soft music playing, but it should be definitely soft and non-stimulating, soothing and soft. Place the element card before you with a good light falling on the card from behind if possible. Look at the card quietly. Do not strain or force your eyes in any way, shape or form. The first day, look at the card for about 3 minutes and then gradually increase the time to 5 minutes, but only 1 time a day. If you feel any strain, skip a day or 2. When the time interval is over, close your eyes and you will see on your inner vision a duplicate image of the symbol in complementary colors. Watch this image quietly and make no mental effort to interfere with it. It will grow strong and then fade away, then reappear again, each time weaker. Watch it until it is gone. Do not force any action against the image, just watch the image fade away. Repeat this work with all the symbols, each in turn for a week each. But do not put any pressure on yourself. After you have done this work for some weeks, then try to bring the image back into your memory, your mind's eye. I am sure you will be pleased to discover that in about 2 or 3 weeks of work, you will be able to bring the images back in your imagination vision easily and in color. When you reach this result, you will know that you can visualize properly if you go about it right. All that you have to do is to look at what you want to visualize long enough to get it fixed in your memory. That is not what really happens. You do something quite different than merely learn to recall visualize by just looking long enough. The looking affects the inner plane forces, but for now, all you have to know is how to do it. The occult reasons for this belong to advanced work. You can now practice looking at pictures or the real things of things that you want using the same technique as given above. You have been told about treasure charts, and it is in the use of these charts that you can practice your visualization work extensively and profitably. Nothing is truer than the old saying, practice makes perfect, at least here.
After each practice, be sure to note how you feel after the exercise and any general effects of that elemental force over the week. It should take at least a month to complete these set of exercises, and in the meantime, we will study the other laws as they pertain to manifest our desires. He mentions treasure charts here, which we will explain when discussing law number 8. Practice consistently, and if you complete these elemental exercises, you will have established a solid foundation as an occultist and started to awaken your powers. Next time, we will explore law number 4, the sphere of availability, and delve deep into the technicalities of manifestation. Subscribe to receive notifications. In the meantime, arise and awaken.